And welcome back to episode 31 of Eden's Realm. So, I have done what I've promised, and I have fixed up the mangrove tree farm that we made in the last episode. At the end of the last episode, it was looking very unfinished, I guess you could say. But now, despite the fact that it's still in a big box, I'd say it looks quite a bit more finished. We have oh, that's not supposed to happen. We have a brand new elevator here over to the side, so you can just walk in and it takes you up to this level, which is super convenient. We have a storage system for all of the good stuff, and basically some walls that won't blow up. It's all really nice and simple. I went ahead and added a extra 2 blocks around the edge to catch all of the extra stuff, and then I needed to make this wall flush so that all of the items would just fall against it, you know. But other than that, it's all been pretty good. It's nice and easy, and I think the plan is going to be I will most likely continue this pattern up whenever I get the time. I'll just continue it up all the way along the walls to wherever the line comes across. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of encase the rest of it in a glass box. I think that's kind of the plan. I think it'll look okay. It won't look incredibly great considering the fact that it's like basically in the side of a mountain. We might actually close it up a little bit more. That might look cool. But I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do because I don't know. It doesn't look great the way it is. And I also don't know if I need skylight for the mangrove trees to grow. Might need to look that up. I don't think I do, but yeah, I'm not sure. On another note, you may have seen some changes to the design that were made um, after the last episode. I ended up needing to add these fence gates here so that the extra water wouldn't flow down into the holes, and I ended up putting a door over here. And if we open this up, you can see it doesn't really lead anywhere. It goes down to the bottom. And you can kind of see I'm getting to the point where I'm just leaving shulker boxes of items everywhere. And I was actually looking for this shulker box earlier today because it has all of my ice. And I couldn't find it. And then I was like, oh, maybe it's back over there. So I went and I came and I looked, and sure enough. So I started recording just so I could show you where all of this is. But I'm ever since I made that shulker farm, I've started being a little bit more careless with all of my items. And if you'll look closely around the world, you'll find that there's a lot of random items in shulker boxes all over the place. And speaking of random items in shulker boxes, I have 2 shulker boxes here with, if I can find them, um, quite a number of random items. You can see I got some stuff for terraforming in here, and then this is a bunch of random blocks that you've probably never seen before that I'm planning to use for a build. The build is going to be over in the build area, as per usual, but I want to take you to my build world and show you kind of the design that I've worked out, because it's going to be the design for most of the little houses over in the build area, and I want to show you what the style of build is that it's going to be, because it's going to be different from what we've ever done. So let's take you over to the build area. Sorry, not the build area, the build world. But here we are, and we can see kind of the plans that I've been going with. And so about 6 months ago, this was the house that I designed to go in the build area town. And you can see it's very brown, which is kind of the idea, but I didn't really like it, and so I went back to the drawing board and ended up trying to mix in some of the like darker browns with this dripstone block with those textures in there, but I didn't really like how that worked, and so I decided to go for a colorful roof, and this is the colorful roof that I ended up designing. I think it actually looks really cool, and it reminds me of Like those houses that you would see in, I forget what type of movie it is. I'm really bad with movies and pop culture if you haven't noticed. But like you have a bright colorful roof, but you have like a plain grayish brown side paneling, and it often symbolizes like a poorer area. And that's kind of what I want the town to be. I want it to symbolize something like not as fancy, I guess. And so we're using like the stripped oak wood to frame the house, and then we'll have the randomized blocks up here. So yeah, let's go ahead and take this design and we'll put it into the world. And just like that, it's done. I think that the house looks the worst from the front angle, but as long as you don't look at it dead on from the front, I think it looks fabulous. The roof looks really good. I put in some bushes down here along the edge, and you got the like dirt spilling over on the roof. I think it looks really good. And as we get more and more buildings built up around here, I think it'll fit in really well. We got like a little awning down over here with the bushes and everything. Obviously, oh, I am not done with that. Obviously, I have not done the inside. It's gonna have to be pretty simplistic, but I think that's the idea. It's a little bit dark in here. I can throw down some light real quick. You can kind of see, don't have a whole lot of room. It's basically just going to be like a little entryway and most likely a kitchen and then a little bedroom. So we don't have to do anything too large here, but we do need to at least give a little bit of life to all of the buildings that we put in. I don't want to leave the buildings as empty shells. And while some of them might end up that way, I don't want most of them to. I want this place to feel alive and really have a lot of character. Like, we still need to do something here on the inside. It's completely unfinished. As per usual, I'm behind on my creative schedule, but it's okay. It's all looking pretty good in my opinion. Everything that we've done so far, I've really liked. And yeah, we got the fireball up there. It's all looking really, really cool. But we have been doing a lot of building today, and I really want to get to working on the perimeter. You know, we built that, and I haven't done anything in it. And I want to change that today. So let's do something. And to the creative world we go. So I have been messing around in a creative world that's basically a backup of Eden's realm, and I have been looking for areas wherever we can build a copper farm, because, well, we don't have a copper farm yet, and I want one. That's a sneak preview over there. And so I was looking around, and I was first checking all of the dripstone caves. And so if we like fly over here, you can see this is the dripstone cave, but then we get into forest, and so it'd have to be built up around this height. We'd only have this much area, and so I started marking out larger and larger areas. This was probably one of the best areas that I found with the dripstone cave. It's really big and really low to the ground. I did this using uh, Mini HUD's biome renderer. If we look here, I can turn on the biome border, and you can see just kind of where the biome border is. So I was just flying around and searching for everything. You can see this is all forest, and then you come into what is some taiga, and then over here is a river. And I found that rivers go all the way down to the bottom of the world, which means that you can build a really good mob farm all the way down here. And so I started mapping out all of these. This one is 14 by 29, but the biggest one that I found was all the way over here, and I can't remember if I marked it down at the size of it. I want to say it was like double the size of that one over there. I might have put it over here. Yep, here it is. 44 by 38. So it's pretty large, and you can see it all fits it within this blueprint here. And I built basically a really simple mob farm to spawn the drowned in. It's just a bunch of flowing water, and if I give myself night vision, you can see it all here. Pretty nice, pretty simple, and that's really all you need for a drowned farm. I have mob spawning turned off for right now so that this doesn't get flooded while I'm working on it, but yeah. And so I wanted to make my own drowned farm for two reasons. I want to be able to get tridents from it, which means that I need to have naturally spawned drowned mobs. So that means that I need to spawn them in the world and then find a way to kill them. But I also want to have a really efficient copper farm, which means that I need to be able to toggle between the naturally killing one and one of these farm designs. This is, if you haven't recognized it, a copper spawning stacking farm. I forget what it's called. Using the zombie reinforcement mechanic that basically allows more and more zombies to be spawned as you hit the zombies with these snow golems here. It's a really complicated process. I've watched Nimbon's video like 3 or 4 times, and I don't fully understand it yet, but I understand it well enough to implement it here. And so that's what I've done. I basically took a copy of what he has and just put it in. I might make a few adjustments along the way, but we'll have to see whenever we get there. The large technical deal that I'm going to have to mess around with is going to be our switcher from a regular killing system to the Nimbon's copper farm. And so I've decided to do that by changing the way that the water flows and redirecting the zombies as they come down. I give myself a zombie spawn egg. We'll see that right now he just flows on by and down into the copper farm. Here it's really simple. But if we want to change that, what we have to do is power all of these pistons here in a certain order so that it all gets, so that this slime block structure gets pushed down. So it's a little bit complicated, but I think it is feasible enough to do. It's going to take me a little bit of time to figure out how to do it in a like compact area, but you can see we push it down and then it opens up this space here where the water can't flow because of these trapdoors. Then what we have to do is pull out the floor beneath it, and so I have a system for that down here. You just unpower these blocks and then unpower these pistons, and now the zombies fall right down. It's super simple, and I really like it. You can see now, if we just send another zombie, they'd actually be drowned, but it doesn't make a difference. Zombie falls all the way down, and then we'll be able to have a killing mechanism down here. So that's kind of the plan. I still need to work out exactly how this is going to work, but once we get it, it should work really well. And now, despite the fact that it might be the worst redstone I've ever created, it looks absolutely terrible, but it works. That's the idea, right? Oh, if these continue to get powered, that's going to be really annoying. I might have to... I don't know what I'm going to do. I thought they wouldn't get powered, but I think I was wrong. Okay. Anyways, so we have the opening mechanism here, which just has to power these 3 pistons in order. Real simple like that. all nice and easy. And then the retracting mechanism is a little bit more difficult because you have to power this one, then this one, and then this one and this one at the same time, and then this one and then this one. I don't remember, but it works, so you can see here. Super nice and easy. We have to use a monostable circuit here so that this piston here doesn't stay continually powered. It powers once, unpowers, and then powers again. But yeah, it's really really good. I'm super proud of it. Came up with it all by myself, and despite the fact that it looks really bad, it works.
A few moments later.
Alrighty, this was a valiant effort, but you may have already spotted the flaw, and if you didn't, well, then you're in the same boat as me. So there's one big issue with that, and that is that the tridents that I want to get from the drowned have to go through here with the drowned to start the farm. And if one single drowned with the trident goes through this system, it kills all of the snow golems, which obviously breaks the entire purpose of the farm. And if we want the snow golems to be able to throw snow at them, then we can't really have the trident people in here because they can obviously throw back and kill the snow golems. So I have basically not been able to figure out what to do from here on out. It's kind of a failed project at this point because that's a major design flaw, and while I could just start sending them all down this way, then we don't get enough in here, and so the copper farm doesn't work. So we may have to just go ahead and split it up. I'm thinking that that is the best option, to have a separate copper farm and a separate uh, trident farm. But I don't really want to do that the conventional way, and I'm really out of ideas. I tried one other idea, and actually I can just take you there and show it to you. If we exit out of this world, we can head to my other world, and it's basically just a world with a river biome. So in this world, I've cleared out a massive section, basically similar to the perimeter we have, and put a roof on it so that we can get drowned spawning. You can see them all in there, some with the glow squids because they spawned with the drowned. And my idea for the farm was to do something where we would alternate having water up top and then taking it off. So it'd be something like this. We'd let it drain down, and then right at the end, we'd go ahead and put it back on. So after all the water had drained away, then new water would come down, and vice versa. We'd continue on doing that down the pattern until it resets the blah 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 blah. And then I proceeded to go into about another 5 minute explanation of why this wouldn't work without a whole lot more effort, and why it wasn't actually going to be worth it compared to just a regular spawning farm. It really didn't need to take that long, but that was the explanation I gave, and so I'm just gonna cut that out of the video, and instead you get this, which is me telling you that basically we're putting this project on hold and we are going to do another project in the Nether. Alrighty, so failures being ignored, we're just going to leave that project for another day. What I want to do today is I want to work on getting some more netherite. So I went back into, I think it was my 1.17 redstone testing world. This was back before I even had a YouTube channel, and I found a tunnel bore that looks something like this. I remember using it early on in a different world other than Eden's realm to get some netherite, and I was like, well, this would be a good way to go about getting some more netherite. So I was briefly looking into getting a three-way setup like this, I don't know if that's going to work. We may try a two-way setup. I'm still going to have to double check this out if this works, because I know sometimes the TNT will blow up stuff over the side. So I'm going to have to mess around with that. But if we don't do that, we can still definitely use the one wide, the one wide setup. Something about like this, and it shouldn't blow that up, right? Yeah. And so this will be our tunnel bore. It'll allow us to go through the netherrack and find a lot of the ancient debris that we need. Oh, and two things that I should mention. First of all, I don't remember who designed this. It wasn't me, but yeah, I can't find the video to give them credit because I probably looked it up about 2 years ago. So, yeah, sorry about that. And then second of all, why are we getting netherite? Well, I need the netherite because one, I died and lost all my netherite gear while I was running the world leader. And two, with the upcoming 1.20 update, I actually saw yesterday that they're adding like texture models to armor pieces, which means that I'm going to want to have netherite gear already so that whenever we get there, I can easily get all of the new textures and everything. It looks super cool, and I'm super stoked about it. I think it's going to be one of the best things about this update. I wasn't looking forward to this update a whole lot, but now I'm pretty excited about it. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Well, it's slightly broken. It's not unrepairable, but I'll be honest, it's getting late tonight, and I'm just ready to finish recording this video. This video has taken a whole lot more time than I thought it was going to, and I think I'm actually over the 20-minute mark. I'm gonna have to cut down a lot on all of the explanations that I did, especially for the farm that didn't end up working out, the drowned farm. It's just it's been a rough couple of days, which is all right. But I don't know. I feel like I'm working on getting back into the stream of doing Minecraft and YouTube, but also focusing directly on God, and it's been difficult, and I don't understand why, but I don't know. That's just part of life, and I was at a Bible study tonight, and I just got some really good tips and hints on what I could do. So hopefully by next episode, I will have more than 8 ancient brie, and we can go ahead and start and get all of our gear up to netherite. I'd really like to have most of our gear in our toolbox to be netherite. I don't know if that's a feasible thing. It took me about 10 minutes to get these 8 pieces, so if you figure about 5 minutes per piece, that's not terrible. I think it's doable. We'll have to see though. Hopefully we'll get some more luck. I know there was a lot of lava back that way. But yeah, that is where I'm going to have to call today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. I know that today's episode has been quite a bit of technical and not very survival based, but I think it's okay. Hope you like the build that I did, and that I'll see you again in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and have a good day. Bye bye.